through the final corner. Sete Camera now goes fastest. Bird takes the checker flag and doesn't improve. Van Doorn is through. Stoffel Van Doorn is through. But here comes Mitch Evans. He is out. And he will be starting down on the 8th row of the grid. It's down into turn 1. Oh, nowhere near. So Van Doorn, Sete Camera, Cassidy and Degrassi, the drivers that advance through. 5th for Eduardo Mortara. He's not going to be into the duels. Nor's Vern. Mortara and Vern out. Up to the top goes Nick de Vries in the Mercedes EQ. Al Askew across the line. He's in 3rd place. The Porsche of Lotterer is in 4th position. Jake Dennis goes back to the top. But it's a disaster for DS Techeetah. All of the lap times cancelled for impeding for Lucas Degrassi. Fuming. Dennis, De Vries, Askew and Lotterer, the top 4 advancing into the knockout stages. It'll be Lotterer versus Van Doorn, Askew versus Sete Camera. We will have Nick Cassidy versus Nick De Vries, Battle of the Nicks. Max Günther against Jake Dennis. Andre Lotterer versus Stoffel Van Doorn. And it's a 1:13.917. Van Doorn's a quarter of a second up. Van Doorn's a quarter of a second up. He's found a load of time in this final sector. Out through the final corner. Van Doorn is through. It is Oliver Askew against Sergio Sete Camera. Through the final turn, out across the line. And he does a 1:13.688. So only just over a tenth slower than Lotterer. So this is going to be a quick time here, I think, from Sete Camera. Here he comes through, and it's a 1:13.3. That's 2 tenths quicker than Van Doorn managed.
That's mighty from Sete Camera.
Nick Cassidy versus Nick De Vries. Through the fast chicanes at Custom House.
I think he clipped the wall. He did, he clipped the inside wall in 13.
De Vries is now over 2 tenths up on Nick Cassidy. And it is a 13.8. And that's the slowest time we've seen so far in the quarterfinals. So Nick De Vries should be able to beat that, not even with a necessarily stupendous lap time. Here he comes, De Vries out of the final corner, and he goes through. A 1:13.457. Max Günther against Jake Dennis. Big lapping coming in from Jake Dennis. This might be the quickest lap of the session so far. 13.3 we saw from Sete Camera. Dennis, 13.2. Van Doorn versus Sete Camera. De Vries versus Dennis. Stoffel Van Doorn against Sergio Sete Camera. So smooth, neat, tidy, out of the final turn. The championship leader does a 1:13.1. Really quick lap from Stoffel Van Doorn.
Mighty stuff.
Sete Camera closes the gap to a quarter of a second. This is going to be a really quick lap from the Dragon Driver 2. Could be enough for 3rd on the grid. Here he comes across the line and ends up doing a 1:13.474. Nick De Vries versus Jake Dennis.
De Vries, half a tenth of a second up the road from Jake Dennis so far.
Dennis gets back ahead now. He's 600ths up the road from De Vries. Whoa, so much curve from Nick De Vries. That was remarkable. Dennis out across the line. Front row of the grid. Stoffel Van Doorn in the Mercedes EQ against Jake Dennis in the Avalanche Andretti. We'll get a first split just after the first couple of turns here. The crowd are cheering him on, and he's ahead by 400ths after the first couple of corners.
Looked like a bit of understeer through turn 5, just wasn't rotating as quickly as he'd want. But conversely, it's better, I would say, that lap than the lap before through turn 6 and 7.
Van Doorn slightly quicker through the Sunborn complex. He's coming up the Flying Angel straight and into the chicane. Dennis's gap is now 500ths of a second. Van Doorn is at the anchor. Swings it through the right-hander. Look neat and tidy. Oh, Dennis has made big ground, big gains. 2 tenths up on Van Doorn, coming to the anchor. Van Doorn closes it down a little bit.
Dennis on the absolute limit, braking for turn 16.
Van Doorn out across the line. The championship leader has a nice slide and does a 1:13.298. But Dennis at the moment is just a smidge ahead, just under 2 tenths of a second.
It's a bit wide through 21.
The Andretti driver out of the final corner, and at his home E-Prix is on